All right, everyone, we are going to move along. We talked about the file collaboration side on SharePoint. Now we're moving into the communication side of SharePoint. So this one here is going to be a little interesting on how we're going to have to work through it, but just kind of bear with me as we work through it here. But again, as always, as we always do, go ahead and sign into the portal under the admin account here. And we are going to log into the admin portal. We're going to go to the admin side. And just like we did before, we're going to go ahead and show all. And we're going to go down here to SharePoint. If you do not have SharePoint, go to the All Admin Centers and you will see it there. All right, so we're going to show up in the Admin Center, SharePoint Admin Center. So again, we're going to come over here to Active Sites. We've seen this before. Remember, we created that Project X. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create, this was a team site that we created. We're going to create a communication site. Now we have our main one here, which we could potentially use if we want. And if we just do a right click, and I'll just open that in a new tab. Here is our SharePoint communication site. It is kind of rudimentary, and it honestly, it doesn't look that great. But what we're going to do here is we're going to spruce this up. So this is just pspalloway.sharepoint.com. That is our piece of it here. So there's a lot of things that we can do to this as we look at it. This is just it looks like actually very similar to a site. But what we're going to do here is we're actually going to spruce this one up, and then we'll create another one too. But we're going to spruce this one up here. So we're over there, we're on there where it says Next Steps. At the top right, we're going to get started. And it's going to want us to pick. Now, remember, I said this during the lecture here where we want to essentially, my UI UX skills are just not super great. But to create a template, we certainly can do that. We can upload our own templates, which we don't have any in here, of course, but we have designed ourselves to make sure that it looks similar. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use a couple. There's actually one that I really like here is this leadership connection one, as well as the showcase new employee onboarding is also kind of nice. But these are all just templates here. So this is the overall aspect of the organization here. So what we're going to do, this is going to be the leadership connection. And we can get an idea of what it looks like here. We got some events. We also have a nice Yammer integration, which I'm going to use this for that reason here. So we got some, hey, meet our leadership team. There's some cool things that we can do on here. And all we're going to really do is use this template. It's going to apply the template. Now, this should only take a couple of minutes here for this to apply. But what this is doing is this is using the SharePoint lookbook or the template, I guess, page, if you will. These are pre-created ones from Microsoft. And you'll see on here that we now have the ability to have a site. Now, our site's starting to look pretty cool here. Starting to look a little professional. Now we have to change this Yammer. We'll get into that here in time. But as it stands, let's look at the navigation of the site. Now I'm seeing up here where we get plus new, page details, and analytics. So as it stands here, everybody is going to have access to this site. And we can check that by primary admin is going to be the global administrator. Come over here to admins, permissions. Global administrator, SharePoint administrator, site members, everyone except external users. So that is a specific group, that is a SharePoint specific group. That is a member of the site. And actually a site visitor here is Neil. Site owner is a global administrator. So a global administrator is the role, if you will. So that's the RBAC role, if you will. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over, and I have Geddy Lee opened up here on his side, and I'm going to go to the SharePoint site. And I am going to come over here to permissions. Oops, didn't want to go to manage admins. I'm going to come over here to permissions. Everyone except external users are site members, and then we go to site visitors here, which is Neil. So what we want to do here is we're going to manage this here. I'm going to actually add myself also as an administrator. Oh, I hope I did add that correct. I did. Okay, cool. Got to be really careful with those. So we can be a primary admin or just an admin, a site admin here. Okay. So I have all of my information that's on here. I can edit a lot, but let's just break down the site here first before we kind of jump into look and feel and exploration and all of those wonderful things. So the way that this works out here is that we have basically some, this will be a page here. So it says building leaders for a complex world, blah, blah, blah. Here's some stuff that it's doing. Now this is just, again, an example. If I click continue read, this would actually take me to, or could take me to, another sub page here underneath of it that would have more information about it, and we would go to another news page or something along those lines. As you see on here, we also have the employee town hall. Again, just sample content. They all say sample content on it because they don't really have much on them. So we can submit our questions, and when we click on that, it doesn't take us anywhere. Why? Because this is all sample content. So we have to be careful here is that this stuff is just sample. But we do have events, which currently right now, these are just sample type events. But if I wanted to create an event, I can create a new one saying that, oh, there's a new one coming up, you know, whatever it is, and we can go from there. But I'm just going to go ahead. Oops, didn't want to do that. I meant to go back. Now, we also have over here, meet our leaders. Here's Lynn Robbins. Just a picture of her, and that's pretty much it for that one there. But if we come up to the top, there we go. So we have our navigation bar up here, which is our global navigation bar for this site. So we have the home, and then we come over here to our mission and goals. And here's another page inside of there. We are a team of creative innovators. And we have some information about it. Here's some cool new things that are coming down the pipeline. And again, we can copy that if we want and link it and do whatever we will with it. These would essentially link to other news articles and such inside of here. So that's all great, and that's fine. What about leadership? If we come over here to Contoso Leadership, we continue down here. We could see everybody that's on here and what their title is, and you know, and we can. These are just very junk things that they've said on here, but it's just nice to be able to get like, here's an idea of some of the things, and maybe we can, you know, if we click on Patty, maybe we can send a message to her or something. Even though it's probably a terrible idea to have a CEO do that. But again, the idea here is that you can meet the leadership team. Hey, CEO Patty Fernandez. Here are some ways that we can ask questions. So, hey, we want to Patty Fernandez on Yammer, which again, we'll get to Yammer here in a second, or LinkedIn. So we can do that, and you want to connect with her. Or if we want to start a conversation here through Yammer, which again, we will integrate here in just a second. So again, these are all sub-pages here. If we want to edit, we want to change, we can do things here, like just say, you know, our mission and goals. We'll say over here is between here, we're going to have a, we can do a couple different things. I'm not going to mess around with this here because I don't want to accidentally break the, I don't know what else we'll kind of be playing around with here. So I don't want to necessarily break anything, but we can do a new page on here, and we can use the template. We can create a brand new one. And so here's a new page we want to do. I'm new at this, or I've done this before. So we'll stick with I'm new at this and hit let's go. And then we choose a template, add a name. This is just giving us a high level overview. That's all. So here are the templates that we have built in here. These are, you know, here's a visual one, or here's a basic text one. Let's do a new basic text one here. And you can see that here is the title, which is new page. And we're going to call this cool news. And we can do things. So this is a great way of being able to delegate out, because this is all really what you see is what you get type interface. Okay. So the idea behind this here is we have this page where if we want to, we have this nice border up top. Hey, maybe we want to change the image. We could browse Microsoft stock images here. You know, I don't know, maybe we want to put some, I don't know, we'll put the little crown up there. Looks good. Hey, there's the crown. And it adjusts based off of different things here. And we can adjust the focal point as well. Come on, show me back on there. There we go. So we can drag the focal point icon in different locations and essentially kind of do it in different, we want to kind of focus on different things. We can do that as well. We can do lots of different things on here. Set the image focal point. We'll do it like, I don't know, something like, oops, didn't mean to do that. Cancel. Bring the focal point back. I don't know, maybe we want to maybe bring that a little bit out to the side. How about like that? That looks cool. So we see who has posted it, and we would have a picture of ourselves traditionally on here for the most part. But again, we can get creative with that. We can also get rid of this whole section here if we don't want to see who posted these things. We can come in here and say, all right, well, we have this. So we have a text. We have another text. This is a side-by-side, if you will. And then we can take this section here, and maybe we want to make it, we'll do 1/3 like this. And maybe if we want to do some, I don't know, shading, sure. Or maybe make it collapsible. So we can get creative here with this, of course. So if we just did it like this, so maybe here in this instance, we, I don't know, maybe we want to do something here a little bit different. Let's see here. We will, you know what, we'll just continue playing around with this here. But what we'll do is, if we want to move this web part, want to maybe move it over there to another side, or even down here, we can do that too. So these are all individual web parts, and they're really designed to, and this is, like I said, I'm not an artistic person by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe we want to add a section here between. We can use templates. We can, you know what, we're going to add a 1 column with an image, browse image. We'll go back to the stock stuff because it's easy. Here's some wine. And then we add text down here. This is a photo of wine. So that's obviously fine. We can add caption here if we want as well. And let's see, we'll continue on down here. We want to add some, change the shading a little bit. Maybe we want to have some comments. Let's add another section down here. Let's try some of these templates, are fun. Maybe, how about, we'll do 2 columns, image and text to the right. Come over here. Stock images. I think you're kind of getting the point of this on how this really works out. But here's golf. We'll do how to play, I spelled that right here, golf. Oh boy, golf. There we go. So here, how to play golf. And we put other stuff in here. Maybe we want to add another section on here. Maybe we want to put like a quick link, or maybe we want to embed something. How about a YouTube video? You know, so we would add the video. I'll just find a real quick, you know, YouTube how to play golf. So here you go. Here's a nice video, which we can use. We can just essentially take this. We will copy the link. Bring it over here. Oh, it does. Oh, hold on. Let me log into. It's playing it through Bing here. So we'll watch this in YouTube first. And then we will take it from here. Try to play it in Bing there first. So, okay, we just are, why is it not valid? There we go. So we got golf basics there. So we can change different things, kind of do whatever we want with it here, and we can see that we have embedded this video of how to play golf. That's cool. That's easy enough. Really simple to add some of these things on here, I'll be honest with you. You know, it's not really complex. So, hey, we want to add, I don't know, a button. You know, maybe we'll do, button label is email us, and we'll put that there, and then we'll put a link to, I don't know, like a button feed or something that'll show us how to email. So we can change this, and we can do quite a lot, of course. So it's inheriting from this theme, which you can see up here is just a very simple theme overall. But, you know, based off of the things that we have looked at on here, we can add a whole bunch of things. So here's some cool news. All right, well, this page has been saved right now, as you can see. What we can do here is we can save this as a draft. And then maybe what we want to do here is, I don't know, send it to somebody else to view. So before, you know, if it's like a marketing, and before we go out to marketing, we want to look at it here. That's cool. We can do that. Maybe somebody else can have it shared here. I'll share it out to G. Lee. Oops. There we go. So now Getty is going to get a little email over here that says, he has now access to this site. And there you go, you just heard it came in there. So if I go to the communication site, all right, and we will go ahead and publish it. We can add this to navigation if we want, so it's up there at the top. So we'll go ahead and copy it. Sounds good. So it's been published. And now if I come over here to Getty, bring it over here, we refresh the page, we see cool news. So cool news is here now. So this is all really, you know, again, interesting stuff that I can do. Wow, I'm going to like it and I'm going to comment. Wow, totally cool. We can also, inside of here, do something called @mention. So I can @mention certain people. So for instance, Neil, what do you think of this? So now I just posted on there. So at that instance there, so Neil is going to get a little alert to say that I was mentioned on a post. And now Neil can come in and check it out and see what, you know, what he was mentioned in on and kind of get an idea of the conversation. So that's all nice. What we can also do here is publish this. So again, I have this new news that's published out. What I can do is I can promote it, but we can also look at the analytics. So let's look at the analytics here real quick. So this is going to be very simple analytics of basically, these are going to be analytics around just page time and page views, average time spent per user. Now we don't probably have a whole lot here, but we do. Okay, we do have some real data here. So in the past 7 days, we've seen that 2 people have. We've had unique page viewers here, and then we've had 4 page views, and then we could see the average time, the time of day that they come in, and those types of scenarios. Now this is fine. But again, I can have a little bit more detail if I want to potentially use other things. So before I continue on, actually, you know what, we can go ahead and promote. But what we'll do here is we will email this out to everybody. So we can do an all employees. So remember what I said before when we would say, hey, this is a new thing here. We want to blast this out to the organization and such. Well, remember what happens when we blast out everybody and we're starting to get a lot of information out there. People really, they stop listening to it. So, and it's fine. It's going to our email and we can check it out, I suppose, if we want to. That's an option. But there are better ways of doing this. So if we come over here, back to the admin center, and we go to all admin centers, we scroll all the way down, and we come to Yammer. So Yammer here has got a lot of different things on it. We're going to focus on just some things, but how do we get to Yammer here? So this is the admin portal, which we can play around with users and such. If we come over here to configuration, we will see, different things that we can configure. Hey, maybe we want people to upload, maybe we don't. These are very simple things here. The big thing that we want to make sure here is that we want to enable the new Yammer for all users with no opt-out. So this is the new Yammer, is the big piece. Now the Yammer piece that comes along with it, which I will show you here in just a second, is now integrated into Microsoft 365 groups. So let's come over here, and then we will pull up our little waffle menu, and we go to all apps, and we will see Yammer down here on the bottom. So if we open this up, this will open up Yammer. Welcome to the new Yammer. Here's some new stuff for you. It's a single feed customized that is aggregated to you. And the search bar is part of the SharePoint search, so it is actually quite good. We will go ahead and start exploring. All right, so here's our Yammer feed as it stands right now. We have right here my communities. You see that I am a member of this all company community, which this one here is, again, just kind of a default one. But what we can do here is, if we come over here to the new, we will promote this via Yammer. And we're going to add this to a community. So we're going to do all company. That's the only community that we have. Hey everyone, here are some cool things. Now, we'll go ahead, and it's asking right now to amplify. So if we click on amplify, we can notify people. So change notification settings. We can notify people via email that they have been, which we'll do here just to show you. 0 people are going to be notified via email. That's because this all company one here is not really designed for that, but that's okay. So if we post it, it has been successfully shared. Now, if I come over here to Yammer, I'll come up over here and I'll see, oh, here's an announcement. Hey, everyone, here's some cool things. And we click Cool News, and it takes us to the Cool News page. So again, we've seen this before. I'm going to close out of the admin center here for the time being. So this is nice. You know, this really is. So what are some things that I can do inside of here? Well, again, the idea behind this is I can share this out to other people. I can, of course, comment, and I can like. You know, that's all good things. We can do some, you know, hey, we'll do a little celebrate party thing. We can see, you know, things that I've done on here. But here's the cool part about it. Because I posted this, I can view my insights. So before we were able to just essentially get page views and how long somebody was on it. Well, here we can get comments. We can see the reactions, what people said, what people have done, how many people have shared it and who shared it, who saw it. We can see the conversation trends. So we can see more people that are doing it, more people are going up and down, and we'll see this more of a graphic instance. So we can see impressions. Well, right now we have 0, of course. We have 1 reaction on it, which that was me. I can see the conversation as a whole if I come in through Yammer, which again, there's not a whole lot of conversation here. Go ahead and close that out. You can see down here that if somebody were to put comments in here, be like, wow, cool stuff. And, you know, hey, maybe I want to throw a GIF in here. Little cat on a burrito. And we post it. Looks cool. So again, looking inside of here, inside of the all company community here, we can get some cool things. Now we can also, these are just discussions here, but maybe we want to do a question. What's 2 plus 2? Then we can blast this out to people if we want. Now if we don't blast it out to people, what will end up happening is it'll just go with an ask question, which will show at the top. And it'll show up under here where it's just an announcement, and it's what's 2 plus 2. And then you got to be able to say, ooh, 47. And then people will obviously engage on it or not. And you can mark this as the best answer or reply, like it. I can engage with you on it. So inside of this, we can do Yammer, and this is another really cool one here is where the praise. So, hey, who do we want to praise? Well, I want to praise Geddy Lee for being awesome. And I'm going to post this to everybody. Great. Praise Geddy Lee for being awesome. So again, coming into my home feed here as I jump on it, we'll see here that I'm pretty much caught up. There's nothing new, which of course makes sense because I've just done it all. But if I come in here to communities, remember communities are supposed to be bi-directional. They're supposed to be for a common interest for everybody that's on here. So maybe we want to create a community for musicians. Oops, not computer. I meant company. For musicians. Spelled right, of course. For musicians. Well, I can add people this to it. I'm obviously going to add myself to it, and I'm going to add Geddy Lee to it. We can make this public, where anybody can join, or we can make it private. The idea behind these Yammer communities, though, they really should be public, so people can just kind of jump in. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to exclude Geddy for the time being here, so I'm going to go ahead and create best guitarist of all time. We will do, I'm just going to pick some random names just to show you on here. Bill, Bob, and Sally. No, not Saki. Sally. Looks good. We're going to go ahead and ask people. hey, getting a poll on here. So again, really cool things. Engagement is really the biggest piece of this. Now, if I come over here, and I'm going to pull up my, by the way, just to show you, the announcements. Since I made them as announcements, we're getting emails as well. Hey everyone, here's some cool things. So these are another way of communicating with us. And if I were to click on any of them, so I can actually integrate or work directly in here. Obviously, oops. Post. So I can post directly inside of my email here. And I could upvote it if I want, like it, all that wonderful stuff that we can do with it. So we can see on here that, oh, here's some praise. Gaily for being awesome. Oh, cool. Posted in all company. And you can see I have a little @ sign there because I was mentioned specifically in it. And it even says in here, you were praised in the all company channel. So, and we can see more from Yammer, and it's just eventually giving us the feed here. But if I come over here and I open up Yammer, yeah, we've seen this. So by default, here's my home feed. Here's things that I haven't seen yet that have not been officially given to me. They've been on my announcement page. Excuse me, my announcement piece here. And then I see that say recommended person. So they're recommending me because I've @mentioned and we've interacted in the past. I have been mentioned as a recommended person. And I can see inside of here, here's that poll for the musicians. But I don't see it in here. Well, there's a couple of things that I can do. If I come over here to communities, I can browse these communities. Go to all. We will see, hey, musicians. All right, well, I'm going to join it. And you'll see now I have musicians in our company. So I can see inside of here, how cool is this? And just to give you an idea of what this all looks like, and you can see here now I just got a little alert. What happened? I got a little alert. What was that? We go to my inbox here, and we see that I replied to a thread. Well, obviously it's 17. So we're looking at it here, and I can mark it as red, and it goes away. But if I come over here to, and you can see all company, hey, I got a little bubble on it. This is a large group here, so it's probably, I don't necessarily want to get a ton of information on it. But what if I come over here to the communities? We'll go to all. Remember, I'm joined the musician community in our company here. So I'm going to come over here to you know what, we'll just do a simple conversation. How about that? So we are going to nix that. Do a simple discussion. Hey, you are cool. Now I'm over here on Getty's side. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how the notification side works. So as opposed to mentioning just one person, I'm going to make a post. And we will see here in just a second. So you see right there, I got a little blip. I got a blip, 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 lots of blips everywhere. Now I can, if I want to, enable this as a notification. So it will pop up, send me desktop notifications. Cool. So I come over here, musicians in our company, and I see I got a little @ sign there, which means I was specifically mentioned. And it says, hey Matt, you are cool. And you could see just now I was mentioned. So again, the idea behind it, this is you can make this much more kind of like a folksonomy. You can make this to the point of where we play around the different pieces of it. Now I can also get notifications. It's more, again, aggregated is really what it's all about. Now I can love this. So here's a favorite. Anytime somebody posts anything inside of here, I'm going to get a little blip as well. So, another discussion. This is a discussion, and we're going to get some information around it. You see I got a little blip. Now, because I'm already in this one here, it went away because it saw it on there. But again, I can see all of these things that are going on. There's a lot that goes along inside of here, but really remember, this is all about bi-directional communication. So if we come back over here to this cool news post, yeah, we emailed it out to everybody, and that's fine. But what about if we wanted to get a little bit more engagement? That's where we would use Yammer. So this is where we can start getting some cool ideas. Now, what this really should be, you should start kind of seeing on here, which, all right, now I got to keep Yammer open. I got to keep SharePoint open. I got to keep OneDrive potentially open. You know, I got to keep all of these different things on here. Well, Yammer actually does have an application that you can put on there. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to hold off on that, because what we can do is to show Microsoft's true vision of how they want the Teams application to look is very interesting. We'll play around with that later on, but for now, just want to show you here what Yammer can do, what news sites can do. Now again, this is not anything fantastic, because again, I am not that artistic and I'm not that great at UI and UX development. But with the right idea here, we can also understand that here are different pieces of this. So maybe we want to post this as, I did not mean to edit. We will go ahead and republish. I did not mean to do that. I meant to promote. So we can post this as news on the site as well. Your post was posted as news. So you can see right here is that all company one, here's the integration with Yammer. It is integrated into the site. We can see that, hey, here's a discussion, here's musicians. This is your Yammer feed. Okay. So a lot of cool things that we can do. And you can see all the way down here is the news feed. So we see here's one of the newest news articles that pops up under here. Now this will basically go as new ones show, new ones get added. This one will kind of drop down further and further and further, and the new one will be put at the top. So we get this news piece. Now this is a fine site overall for communications, but maybe there are different types. Let's look at some of the other ones that are out there. I'm a big fan of, let's do this here. We're going to create a new site. And we're going to create this as a communication site, and it's going to be called HR Employee Onboarding. You can see on here it creates it under the /sites. What the heck is that? Well, if we come over here to this communication site, it's actually nothing there. But if we go to, let's go to one, well, we'll show that here in just a second. So I'm going to put the site owner as myself. Be on it. I'll go ahead and finish that up. Okay, so a couple things. And you notice that just a couple things just popped up under here. So remember, we have the HR one that we just created. We have the all the all company, that one's created. Communication site, which is just the generic one, that's the home page. We have HR onboarding, marketing, that one was created as a team site. Musicians in our company, that created a team site. That's correct. So Yammer, and the new Yammer is actually, again, remember, this is all based off of groups. So we can come up under here where it says teams and groups. We can see active teams and groups, and we will see, hey, musicians in our company, Project X. We have this marketing one over here, which we've already created because we were doing with the access reviews, the access packages. We can see over here that, hey, this is Teams connected, but these aren't Teams connected. So again, the overall aspect around it is that there's a lot going on with it, of course, but let's go to the HR onboarding one, and we can just go ahead and click on that here. Now, this is a very simple site. So right now, if I were to come over here to Geddy Lee, and I would try to go to the site, it says, hey, you need permission. You don't have access to it right now. Okay, well, we're going to play a site template on here, of course. And what do you know? We have a new onboarding employee. Who would have thunk? We're going to use this template. This template is hideously orange, which is fine. But I'll show you here some of the other things that we can do with this one. So again, this is going to take a second or so for it to upload and kind of finish. Okay, so again with this one, as I said, it is hideously orange. It is so hideously orange. But, didn't mean to click on that. There. So I just wanted to show you on here. Here is the site, if you will. So here's some things that we get on it. Here's the newest members. This is a news post on here, and you can see that here are the old news posts. If you want to create a news post, hey, new hire introduction. We got this one already here. That's cool. We're going to create a post. You know, it's going to say, you know, hey, welcome Bob. Welcome Bob to the team. Oh, wow, that's amazing. We're going to go ahead and post that as news. Now, coming back over here is that we get started. Now we're on the simple page here. Here's your onboarding checklist. I'll get to that here in just a second. Scrolling down. Hey, welcome Bob to the team. Here's the site. All right, awesome. Looks cool. I want more people to be able to potentially see this here. So Bob is new with the HR employee. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I meant to actually promote, not share. It was posted as new, so that's already done. Maybe we want to do this as Yammer. Again, you know, hey, this is welcome Bob. And then we'll post a community down here. Maybe it's for everybody. Post. It's that simple to post a news. Obviously, fill in whatever context you want on here, of course. That's up to you. But we have subsections under here, who we are. I believe these are all pretty much the same here. So these these are really nice because these are different sections here. But for instance, account management. Hey, these are responsible for B2B relationships with clients. Okay, cool. Maybe we want to connect to teams. That's nice. That's connect to Yammer too. So we can actually get some idea here is that if we found one, so we just click on it and it's not going to do anything, of course. But what we do here is we would hit that button and it would automatically join or get you to the point where you can join their community. And then you can join their team potentially or go through some process there. There's a lot of things that we can do here, of course, but these are all just going to redirect. They have the office locations. These are just web parts, you know, that we've added on here. So if we click on edit here, we can see that this is just an image here, but these are again additional web parts that maybe we want to change or redo, I don't know, resize, I don't know, whatever we want here, edit the part. So this could be just a simple one. Maybe we want to map area around Space Needle. So, okay, well, maybe we want to change some of these things. I don't know, add. So you can see on here too is that we have shading here in between. And you can see that there is like a gray shading. Maybe we want to make this, I don't know, maybe like that kind of shading. That's like a very light orange. So it goes off of the template. As you can see on here, it's very orange on here, but we can change the size or change the colors, maybe make it flow a little bit better. Maybe we want to add in a different section. Again, I'm not going to go over this all again because we've seen it all already here, and we can republish it. So looking at this, we want to edit things, we want to change things and integrate a little bit more native. We can certainly do that too. So we can do a lot with this particular setting on here. There's so many different things that we can do. But, you know, really at the end of the day, it comes around the idea of, okay, well, we want to do some permissions. You know, so we want to have site members can edit and view site content, or site visitor can only view. So I'm going to create a site view. So we're going to do glee. And we can give them full control, edit, or read. So they're just going to be by default a visitor. We'll send an email. Sure, that's fine. So you can see that he is a site visitor now. Now Geddy Lee is going to get an email. Oh boy, that was very loud. So he gets an email over here and goes to HR employee onboarding. So he gets to see the page here, but you'll notice that he does not have the option to edit. He doesn't have the option to, he can really only interact with the site. Hey, I want to look at this. Oh, welcome Bob. Hey, here's Bob. Bob's cool. I'll like Bob, and that's cool. So again, I can interact with the site, but I don't have the ability to edit the site. For the most part, visitor is what most users in an organization are going to be. Most of the time, what we would do here, though, is as opposed to just individually adding, you know, specific people, what we would do here would be using groups. We would have a large group of people. You know, like maybe we would have a group for site visitors, which is new onboarding employee group. And if you get a member of that group, you have access to the SharePoint site as a visitor. Or maybe if you are a site owner or a site member, whatever it is, you know, whoever is responsible for that. But again, the idea here is that, yeah, there is a little bit of, we'll say, admin oversight here, but once they create it and use the template, they give it to you as an owner, and you as an owner, go to town, make what you want on it. So if we want, we can also change the theme colors, which, as I said, I think this one is just so orange. So let's make it a hideous green. So as you can see on there, hey, there's the change that's on there. So again, really cool stuff that we can do on here, and this is really the whole point of SharePoint, is that we can take this here and modify it, and it's really easy for people outside of IT to be playing around with. So with that being said, we've got a decent overview here of Yammer. We have a decent overview of your SharePoint communication sites. What we're going to do is just pretty much end there. I've shown you as much as I think is relevant. We can go much further if you want to start getting into, news publication, hub sites and such like that. That's a little bit too much outside of the scope. I just want to get you an overview here of what we can do and really how easy it is to start playing around with this in here. So with that being said, I think that's all for this particular lab here. We're going to actually take our next steps here and start talking about Microsoft Teams. So thank you for attending this one here, and we will see you over on the next one.